Okay, just testing the microphone. I will be starting very soon. Just want to make sure that the music is not as loud as it was last time because I was rewatching the previous stream and oh boy, I could barely hear myself. Oh, that's pretty loud, isn't it? Yeah, that's pretty loud. I'm using the soundtrack from the Preludes. I often find myself using that music because it's good, and that's a cell phone game, by the way, that they released a couple of years back. But it seems that the songs are kind of at a different volume, honestly. So if this sounds okay, let me know. If it's too loud, let me know so I can lower the volume of it. Because I don't want to have a repeat of last time where it's you can barely hear me behind all the audio going on in the background, because that was no good. Perfect. I'm just gonna pop in and out of the stream because I wanna get rid of any potential lag we might be having, because I have been running this stream technically for over 2 hours. It just hasn't been on YouTube, so I'm just gonna stop and restart it. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, there we go. I should be back now, I hope. Needed to reset things because, yes, I had been streaming via OBS for almost 3 hours, but I hadn't turned it on over here. I do that because I'm paranoid, because a lot of times in the past when I've tried to stream, YouTube has been wonky with the connection. That happened when we were doing Chicago Stories, which was not fun. It was like second session, I think. It just went, or actually it was the season finale, I think. It was just messing around with me. So I just wanted to make sure everything was fine. We're not starting quite yet because it's not half. Oops, sorry about that. It's not half past, but I'm getting things ready. I've got coffee. I'll potentially get something to drink as well. And as usual, you will not be seeing my mug my face rather. You can see my mug if you want, because there will be a lot of me just staring at a screen. But I will try to entertain you all, and I hope you will have a good time. It's Sunday evening for me, and it's been a while since I streamed this, so rewatching the previous stream was really good. I also realized I was really all over the place with it. If you missed last stream, we essentially divided Stockholm up into our first kind of version of territories. We will most likely revise that at some point, but for now, that's bright. Let's go with the satellite photo. We will revise this obviously at some point, but I feel like we've got the spirit of the division right now. I also cleared up some things. I will go through some of the history that I settled on in between. To kind of make matters a little bit more balanced, because as it was when I was listening through my previous episode, it's pretty clear that the Ven crew had a massive advantage over the Bruja from the get-go, so I had to fill around a little bit with the clans. But it shouldn't be a problem. In case you're wondering what everything is, this territory here by the university is the Banu Hakim. This here is the Hakata, previously Giovanni. This is Gangrel territory, only official Gangrel territory. We have Toreador here and here. We have Ministry here. We have Ventru here, Tremere, Malkavian, Bruja, the red ones over here, Nosferatu here, and La Sombra here. Now, the Ministry now I'm actually kicking things off. I'm gonna wait until we get started, but in case this is your first time joining in, I am essentially creating a chronicle setting for V5 that I will be running games in for my patrons who are on Primogen tier or higher. So if you're interested in that, I'm roughly, how much would it be? I'm roughly 2/3 there to get to that tier. The goal is to have $500 a month, because if I can hit that, I will be able to reduce my work weeks by one without it impacting my personal finances too much, which means I could spend an entire day, a week, just focusing on this stuff. Hello everyone. Hello, welcome. So I'm just essentially it was a pipe dream when I first started, but I'm surprisingly close to the goal right now. And although I mentioned this a couple of times in the previous stream, but although it says that someone on the Primogen tier will be able to play every second month, chances are you will be able to play more times than just every second month, because we have a user on the Antediluvian tier right now. I'm not sure if he's going to stay there. We'll see. But we also have Methuselah and some... we have a couple of different tier players, so they will obviously need to play more often, and I'm not going to have one-on-ones or one-on-twos, but rather at least 3 or 4 players per session, preferably a little bit more. But yeah, it is costly, but on the other hand, who wouldn't want to pay a fortune to be able to play with me? Just kidding. Either way, I also at some point hope to maybe send this to the Storyteller's Vault, obviously with some modifications done to it, because I do want to write V5 material. There is an embargo on V5 right now. You are not allowed to publish any materials on it, but we will see how long that will last. Yeah, I believe it's 4 minutes left until we get started. So I hope everyone is comfortable. I hope everyone's comfortable, and we will get started soon. I will also be doing a Q&A, so if you have any questions you'd like to shoot my way, just go right and do that. I'm also streaming on ultra low latency, so hopefully there shouldn't be a huge delay in between your comments and my replies. I figured there's really not anything memory or graphics intensive running, so that should be fine. I just wanted to announce, and I will probably mention during the stream, that next Saturday from 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be streaming Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines on probably here. I have a Twitch account, but I will probably try to stream it here. And it will be a charity stream. I will be using Tiltify to kind of basically try to get some bucks together for Doctors Without Borders. Their COVID-19, their COVID-19 fund. They have like a fund put aside for money for... Essentially, this COVID-19 is hitting everyone really hard. I think I can mention that now without getting demonetized, but COVID-19 is hitting really hard, especially in parts of Africa and Asia, and I would like to help out with that in any way I can. And I support Doctors Without Borders myself personally every month, and I'd like to do a little fundraiser or a charity drive to get some money into that. So that will be happening on Saturday. I will hopefully be joined by some other people in the community. I know both Huddy and Josh from Strange Adventures have expressed an interest in showing up. So that will hopefully be fun. It's been over 10 years since last I finished Bloodlines. I think I've only finished it twice. And I will most likely be playing either as a Malkavian or as a Tzimisce using a fan patch. We'll see. I've never used the fan patches, so I don't know how fun they are. But I think it's about 1:30 now, so I'm going to start. Welcome everyone to Sunday's workshop stream, Stockholm by Night. I am the Primogen, as you know. You probably recognize my voice. And in case this is your first time here, let me just give you a quick breakdown of what we're doing here. So last time we did this, which was actually like 3 weeks ago, I think, 4 weeks almost, we started chopping up Stockholm into territories. And basically my cat is also being an extreme slut for attention right now. He kicked the monitor, which is his way of saying, pay more attention to me. So I'm petting him right now. What we did was we split up large parts of central Stockholm into different territories. And we did that because I prefer to start from the top and work my way down to the details. Like I want to go with the broader strokes first, and then kind of go into the nitty-gritty over time. And we started with basically just also, by the way, tell me if the music in the background is too loud, because last stream was extremely loud, so I just want to make sure that it doesn't overpower my voice. We're listening to the soundtrack for the Preludes, the mobile games that were released a couple of years back, which has quite a few tracks in common with Bloodlines as well. I used main ambience from this album to end all my videos, so now you know where that song's from. So like I was saying, we used some of the stuff we found in the Camarilla book, which details, let me see here, we're actually gonna close full screen here. The Camarilla book gives us some information about Stockholm. We reviewed it and found some parts that we found agreeable, some parts that we didn't. But what I did stick, the music is extremely loud for me, by the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it to like this, and I'm going to boost it on the stream a little bit so you hear it more. There we go. It's extremely loud in my ears. Right. Where was I? Yeah. Essentially, Stockholm is a Camarilla city. I will have other factions at work in Stockholm, naturally. It will have Anarchs, of course. It will have the Valkyrie. They will be a present faction. They will presumably not have any territory because they are composed of Gangrel in most parts. There are, of course, other clans represented as well. But the Valkyrie are not exactly known for laying stakes to territory. They're more of like a traveling biker gang, more like it. Oh, thank you, Nerdbird, for that. Thanks for sharing it. Where was I? Well, hi, Vios. Oh, you did Manhattan with it? Perfect. Oh, in case you're wondering what tools I'm using, it is in the description of the video. I'm basically just using Google Maps. You can make your very own maps in Google Maps, and it has some pretty neat features. You can see all the different highlights here. You can also click on them, and you get a little icon. And if I've written something, there will be text for there as well. Where was I? Yeah, Stockholm is a Camarilla city, has been for quite a while. The Sabbat has had a continuous low-key kind of Cold War struggle against the Camarilla. But as we know, the Sabbat is not very powerful in Europe. It is by far more powerful in Northern America. Its main presence is in Spain and northern Italy, I believe, in Europe. So there are some Scandinavian Sabbat as well. The Sabbat is everywhere, but the larger sect does not have as strong of a presence in Scandinavia. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Nylan. It is a very useful tool. And Kinley, I hope I got your name right. I hope I can give you some information. We're going to be covering sects today, but I will give you some background on the current political situation in Stockholm. For the majority of the 20th century, actually we'll go to this. I wrote down some pointers, so I'll just read this out loud for you. If you want to read on along with me, that's fine. So the majority of Södermalm and Skärholmen, which is this part, and Skärholmen is over here, sorry about that, used to belong to the Bruja, with the tunnels under Södersjukhuset, which is one of the largest hospitals in Stockholm, and the Hammarby factory districts being granted to the Nosferatu. Toreador have laid claim to a large part of the more wealthy, trendy parts of Södermalm, and there is a tension mounting between the two clans as they have essentially split the Bruja territory in two. The territory belonging to the Bruja right now is at risk of being taken from them, as the clan has officially left the Camarilla, and thus the Ventru are pushing for renegotiation in territories. Since reconstruction of Hammarby to become an upper middle class neighborhood, the Ventru have been wanting to lay claim to it, but they are wary of angering the sewer rats, who are a relatively strong faction in the city despite not being overly engaged in the political game. La Sombra were only recently given territory by the Camarilla. although they previously laid claim to a much larger territory outside the Tulsa Stockholm. They are now on probation and thus forbidden from hunting anywhere outside of their territory or the rack. We haven't put out the rack yet, we're going to do that at some point. The rack is basically the free-for-all hunting grounds. Less than 10 Losamber in Stockholm, possibly even less than 5. Thank you, Bios. I went to the video on Miami's Archbishop. She has linked the region. Could use any info as there is no Miami by night. Keep up the good work. Miami, I will at some point be doing cities by night and covering local cities and their politics in my videos, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm sorry, Bios. I don't know much about Miami's Archbishop except that I read something about her. God, I can't remember what it was now. Something involving... Didn't someone kill her? Or kill one of the I'm sorry, my memory's drawing a blank right now, sorry. Anyway, the Bruja, Nosferatu, and Gangrel are the main coalition, or the ones who were in charge for the most time, essentially. The Bruja were the ones who most often got the Prince Electorate, and thus were the representative prince of the Council of Primogen. So this is how Stockholm differs from many other Camarilla cities, is that it is a, well, I dread to say democratic, but it is a city being run by a council. And thank you very much, Vios. See you soon. So the Bruja, who were actually the brains behind this, they allied with the Nosferatu and Gangrel, and both the Toreador and the Waelkyriges were undeclared for the majority of the 20th century, the 1900s. The Ventru and the Tremere, however, were essentially permanent allies, and they presented the opposition to this coalition. The Toreador most often sided with the Bruja, Nosferatu, and Gangrel fact coalition. I'm not sure what to call these. I guess we can call them the trolls and the bourgeois. That's how you say it. I don't know if that's the correct spelling for it, but whatever. We'll call them that for now. Obviously, not the words they're going to be picking. Oh, whoops. Thank you very much, Norbert, for pointing that out to me. There we go. Sorry about that. It should be gone now. Oh, she's a Malkavian. Nasty. The Berg Boys. Yeah, the Berg Boys and the Proles. However, we'll get to that later on. Malkavians and Toreadors were undeclared for most of the time, meaning that they would usually be swayed by good arguments. The Banu Hakim, of course, were at that time not part of the Camarilla in any matter, so it was Ventru, Tremere versus Bruja, Nosferatu, and Gangrel. Ignore Thin Bloods and stuff like that. We'll get to that. The coalition in power then chooses a prince elector to serve as the de facto representative of the sect in the city and the person in charge of most tasks usually associated with princedom, aside from ruling on matters between kindred, as this is done by the council. So anything involving the traditions, anything involving political relations with other cities, with other sects, handled by the council. However, or actually not traditions, sorry, disputes between kindred and disputes between kindred and political relationships with other cities would be handled by this prince elector, but most matters concerning the traditions, the tradition of procreation, stuff like that, would be handled by the council. This division of power was initially a Bruja initiative during the early 1900s in order to consolidate power and emulate the mortal institutions being founded. The Bruja remained largely in power during most of the 1900s. What are you eating, Victor? Stop, what are you eating? Yet during the financial crisis of 1990 to 1994, the Toreador officially sided with Ventru, having previously been undeclared, shifting the balance and forcing the Malkavians to be the deciding vote. Although unspoken, the Toreador had been building resentment against the Bruja since the 1950s decision to redevelop large parts of Norrmalm. I think I mentioned this in the previous one, that a massive part of Stockholm just got completely leveled, and they rebuilt it to make it more of a modern city center. And this caused a huge uproar in the cultural left part of Sweden, essentially, who considered it murder on on historical buildings, and in a sense, it was a lot of our old history was completely removed from the city. And that, coupled with what the Toreador considered an abandonment of culture by the Bruja-influenced government, made them officially declare their support of the Ventru in 1989. The Ventru remained in power for 4 years, losing to the Bruja in 1994, but then in 2006 they once more gained power as the Banu Hakim, who had been recently accepted into the Camarilla Council, sided with the Ventru, removing the pivotal position of the Malkavians. So at that point, both the Toreador and the Banu Hakim formed the bourgeois, making it a 4-clan versus 3-clan thing. And even if the Malkavians were to declare for the proles, it would be a standstill in terms of political power. So that was a strange time. With the murder of Hardestat, the Toreador, who had been in tentative talks of a coalition with the Bruja, pulled out, and in the 2014 elections, Malkavians also supported the Ventru Prince-Elector, resulting in an all-time low for the Bruja. Although the clan has officially departed the Camarilla, there are factions within the Bruja who strongly urge for the Stockholm clan to remain loyal to the Ivory Tower, arguing for a change within rather than the more extreme alternatives. This has created a rift within the clan where the younger generations of Bruja are arguing for a stronger tie to the Camarilla and that they should form a coalition with the Ministry, the Valkyries, and the large population of thin bloods of the city, while the elders of the clan would rather violently overturn the order, rid themselves of the Ventru leadership, and declare Stockholm unaligned. So, interestingly here is that the Bruja, the older Bruja, the ones who were actually behind this initiative to create this power division between the clans, are now actually more eager to establish something in the vein of the Anarch Free States, although obviously with the Bruja on top. So there is a huge political tension here within the clan. All this stuff, by the way, is not something I explicitly said last stream. This is something that just a conclusion that was drawn by me simply by looking at my previous video. So if you're not recognizing all of this, then you know, that's not you forgetting stuff. That's me not actually mentioning it in the previous stream. Giovanni were offered control over the Värtahamnen and Frihamnen ports. So these are the two main ports of Stockholm for imports. Actually, turns out a lot of coal came to Stockholm through these ports. So there's coal and gas. What do you call them? Gas, not factories, but like power stations in northern Stockholm, previously powered by both coal and gas. So the Bruja were given access, or actually control, over these ports in the early 1900s by the Bruja at the promise of expanding trade to and from the Stockholm region. Although neither harbor handles as much freight as they once did, the Giovanni, now the Hakata, have invested greatly into the ferry traffic going to and from the area, and likewise maintain stewardship over most freight going in and out of Stockholm via sea, which is why they're also not super happy about the fact that there was a recent decision to expand the railway system. So a lot more freight is delivered by rail these days to Stockholm, or by trucks, which has undercut the Hakata quite a bit. Yeah, I'm seeing some comments in the chat about Bruja being Bruja, and yeah, they're definitely having some infighting going on right now. That being said, Giovanni never had a seat on the council, not being a Camarilla clan, and this has been the source of a significant amount of grievance over the years. The Ventru have, however, offered the clan a seat in 2030 if they help ensure the continuous decline of Bruja business ventures in secret. So there is a secret agreement between the Ventru and the the Hakata, to undermine Bruja businesses. Now, I haven't decided yet how many know about this, but I'm thinking it's only known between some Ventru and Hakata key players. The Ventru have given the territories, it should be have. The Ventru have given the territories Stora and Lilla Essingen, and if we look at the map, here is the Hakata territory, the harbor, by the way. Here is the provisional Lassambar territory. If you recall from our previous stream, there's like nothing here. This is Snooze Central Stockholm. It's just a highway going by and some office buildings and some homes. Really not much happening here at all. So for a trial period, promising the clan a consideration for a council position once the Bruja had been dealt with. The Lasombra, however, are secretly dealing with the Bruja, this is new, both for personal profit but also because of grievances with the Ventru representatives whom they dislike immensely. Might as well just say Primogen, Prince Elector, whom they dislike immensely. So this shouldn't come as a surprise. The Lasombra and Ventru have never liked each other. Paradox headquarters. Good question. Paradox headquarters is here somewhere. Actually more like here, I think. So there's in the outside of Toreador territory. Interestingly, something I didn't mention. This was original Toreador territory. They actually went on an offensive and took this territory, which is very much a cultural center of Stockholm right now in terms of nightclubs, in terms of entertainment, stuff like that. It's very much high-end these days. So the Toreador have kind of moved in here and laid claim to some of the fancier parts of Södermalm, cutting off Bruja territory. And the Bruja, of course, this is fluid. Like, this is not how the map looks in this universe, but rather how it looks to us as observers from the outside. Because there's still, like, Cold War skirmishes going on here, but because of the amount of business and money and people in this territory, neither side want to go all-out war over it because that would severely risk damage to the Masquerade. This is Nosferatu territory. You have the Södersjukhuset, the hospital here, which has its own underground metro system and everything. And here you have recently constructed upper middle class living homes. So this area has actually gotten really nice. The Ventru are not super happy about that because the sewer rats. It belongs to the sewer rats. Anyway, Malkavians control Gamla Stan, which is the oldest part of Stockholm. It's here. Here is the royal castle. You have some really old churches. This is one of the most tourist-heavy areas of Stockholm. Lots of commerce here. But yes, it has been considered neutral grounds for a long time. Neither Ventru nor Bruja really wanted to lay claim to it. So the Malkavians kind of made their home here, and because they are historically unaligned in politics, they have been allowed to keep Gamla Stan for themselves. The royal castle is the oldest still functioning elysium of the city, being managed by the Malkavian Primogen. So the royal castle, which is over here, is actually a permanent elysium. This castle is pretty big, lots of floors and lots of rooms, but the biggest reason that they can have this elysium is because the royal family actually does not live here. They live over here. No, wait, they live over here, which in a much nicer castle. So most of the time, this castle is only open during the day and it's open for tourists. There are occasionally foreign delegates being shown around by the king or his family, but this is more of a formal place, touristy spot. But it's very, very beautiful. If you're ever in Stockholm, I can highly recommend visiting. So, the Banu Hakim were granted access to a large part to large parts of the area north of Stockholm, containing both the Royal Institute of Technology, which is essentially the Stockholm equivalent of the MIT, and the Stockholm University, much to the chagrin of the Tremere, who had long been petitioning the Ventru for control over that territory. The Banu Hakim residing in Stockholm are refugees from the rise of Waelkyrige, and up until this shift in domains, primarily made their havens in the north and southwest, so northwest and southwest of Stockholm. With access to the academia, the children of Hakim are now invested in establishing themselves financially as well as scientifically, secretly aiding the Ventru in trying to find a cure for the effects of the beckoning. This area is also bordering Lupine territory, which is what was the official reason for the Tremere not being given access to that territory earlier. So, as you can, I don't think I mentioned it here actually, but the Tremere are considering, the Tremere are actually considering siding with the Bruja, because they are, they are not going to declare for the Bruja until there is a clear advantage to that. So if their role, if they're committing to the Bruja cause would be enough to shift power, they might consider it, but they're not just going to go out and declare for the Bruja without, any guarantee that that's going to help them, because they don't want to get they don't want to get stamped out by the Ventru, but they are extremely pissed at the Ventru right now because the Stockholm University area is prime hunting ground for them. It obviously is where they would recruit new Tremere. It is where they would find a lot of information. So they are not super happy about that. Tremere in Stockholm are of House Tremere, and I have yet to consider whether there would be other house representatives in Stockholm. There might be. We'll get into that when we start talking about the presence of clans here. The ministry have very little official domain, but with their rebranding, they petitioned the Ventru for a small piece of official territory, despite quite often intruding upon Toreador domain previously. The land granted is at the edge of Vasastan, or Vasastaden, and while financially not very lucrative, the clan is pouring money into turning the territory into a new club scene, much to the dismay of the Toreador. The main chantry is going to be... Oh, I like this. What is this? Erik Eriksson-hallen. What the heck? That's a weird name. Hallen. Ooh! What is this fancy place? I've never been here. Images. Oh my. This is pretty. Oh, it's this building! Wow. I love it. Oh yeah, you bet your ass. You bet your sweet asses this is the Tremere Chantry. This is... Oh, is this a church? It's a concert locale, which used to contain a church. It used to be a church. How cool is that? It used to be a church, no longer a church. It's a choral center. Cool, and there is a 7 meter tall, 4.5 meter wide weave called the Havets Song. Anita Grafman. Let me see if I can find that. Ooh, this is the ceiling. Oh, but show me the picture. Havets Song, Erik Eriksson. All right, I guess there's no. Oh, nah, it's not. Is this it? There's supposed to be some kind of weave. Whatever. Yeah, for sure. I can have an E-Leaf equivalent. But yeah, I think what I'm going to say is that this location is actually on a ley line kind of thing. That they potentially... There have been rituals conducted here historically. I mean, there's some cool geometry involved in this, so I'm gonna say that it was given to the Tremere by the Bruja, who petitioned. The Tremere specifically petitioned for this building. They obviously conduct rituals in here, but they're operating in side buildings and stuff like that. The Tremere are also kind of really squeezed in here. They don't have a lot of territory at all. They're often allowed to hunt in Ventru territory and Toreador as well, because they are in the same coalition. I believe that coalition should actually... I think that's a reasonable idea, that if you're part of like the proles, for example, if you're Hakata Gangrel or Nosferatu, you would be allowed to hunt in each other's territory, or at least to hang there. So Tremere, Ventru, Toreador would, same territory. The Toreador actually have some, for example, they have the Royal Library here. Oh, no, wait. What happened? Did I move this? That's no good. That's no good. How did this happen? How did I move it? Can I? Oh, okay, I can just Control Z. There we go. So there is also over here, you have the city library. So yeah, like you can see, the Toreador actually have both of the major libraries of Stockholm in their territory. So Tremere will often visit those locations. Interestingly, the Royal Library actually has this massive vault underneath it that contains a copy of every single printed media released in Sweden. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Maximilian Hardcastle. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's just a little bit of trivia that they have the biggest collection of printed, basically anything like CD medias, VHS cassettes, DVDs, books, magazines, anything. There's a copy of it here in this huge underground vault, which can essentially survive a nuclear attack. It's a little bit of trivia. Right, so I think we're done talking about the previous session that took 25 minutes. Sorry about that. So we'll devote the next 1.5 to 2 hours to figuring out the factions. And what better way to do that than to start talking about the leaders of each clan? Let me see. Actually, let's draw up a little table. New document. Sects and factions. Camarilla, and in the Camarilla you have the event. Oh, let's go numerically. Banu Hakim, not the Bruja. They're not officially Camarilla anymore. Camarilla is Banu Hakim, Nosferatu, Ventru, Toreador, Tremere. And, of course, La Sombra. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who am I missing? Malkavian, of course. Of course, Malkavian. My bad. Always forget the Malkavians. Independents are... Thank you. Independents are Hakata, the Ministry. There is no Ravnos presence to speak of, but that's really par for the course right now. The Ravnos are almost extinct. I would say that there are also... Well, the Banu Hakim are not independent anymore, so that doesn't really matter. Would you say that the Gangrel are independent? I would say the Gangrel are independent. No, they're not, because they're not unified. There would be Anarchs. Bruja and Gangrel. But you don't really declare for the Anarchs. They're not a sect, so let's go like this. It's hard. I think this is one of the problems these days with the division going. Well, not a problem really, but independent used to be a sect that primarily worshipped or followed the orders of their antediluvian, and were not aligned with the Sabbat or the Camarilla. So the Bruja and Gangrel leaving the Camarilla, like I wouldn't argue that the Anarchs are a sect that anyone could join. So I don't really know if that's a term I would use. Honestly don't think that matters anyway. We also have the Sabbat. The Sabbat will be present, but at a much reduced strength. They will have been a thorn in the side. There are some key players left in the area, but the Sabbat are nowhere near the threat to the city that they once were. Which I would also argue is a big reason for the split between the different sides of the Camarilla, because before that there was the present threat of the Sabbat, so you would have these clans all cooperating. But once the Sabbat was out of the picture, more of a guerrilla faction, exactly, Lemon. It would be hard for these clans to cooperate further. So there will be Tzimitzi and the Diluvians. No, wait. No, sorry. Anti-Tribu, sorry. And some La Sombra would remain. I guess they would also be Anti-Tribu, wouldn't they? Since they're no longer following the main clan. And yeah, exactly. If the Sabbat actually have not been persecuted to destruction, and that is because they're a good threat to unleash in case people get complacent. So these are still around, but in a much more decreased amount. I'm gonna call them independents and unaligned. There you go. It's a coward's solution, but what are you gonna do? The Camarilla is being led by the Prince Elector, who is at the moment a Ventru. And then you have Primogen. Thing here though is council positions. Sorry, I'm gonna go turn off the phone, by the way. It's making loud noises at me. Okay. Sorry, a friend of mine was asking me if I wanted his Nintendo DS back because he's gonna throw it, and that's a weird thing to ask. All right, so yes, you are correct, Masticina, is that correct? For the majority of in the 20th century, the Bruja were actually the Prince Electors, but in the 90s, the Toreador aligned themselves with the bourgeois. Essentially shifting the power balance over to the Ventru. The Ventru had the rule from 90 to 94. They lost it again to the Bruja, but in 2006 they regained it, and they have been in power since then. So right now, since 2006, the Ventru have been in charge of their coalition. Now, again, in case you're joining me lately, the Prince Elector is not the same thing as a prince. I am picking some of the stuff from the V5 Camarilla book, which essentially says that it is more of a democratic system than just having a prince decide. In this case, there is a council of Primogen, and their chosen representative is a Ventru, who also is the Ventru Primogen. What this means is that the Prince Elector is more of an official representative who has the diplomatic relationship with other cities, other nations, who handles diplomacy between sects, for example, while the council handle most issues between vampires. So it used to be that there was a Bruja Prince, but Prince Elector, sorry. But even when they were the Prince Elector, that does not necessarily mean that they're always in power. Most decisions are made on like a vote basis, and let's have a C before every clan who has a seat on the council. That seems like a good compromise. So Nosferatu, Malkavian, Ventru, Toreador, Tremere, Bruja, and Gangrel. So there are still only the Banu Hakim are on the council as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna add Thin Bloods here, because obviously there are Thin Bloods and caitiffs. So I'm gonna have those in the same category. There is a Gangrel faction, the Valkyries, and they actually have some impact on the political situation in Stockholm, but because they are nomadic in the way they travel around, they're not very interested in establishing a power or territory in Stockholm. Rather, they influence some of the decisions. They represent Odin, the Allfather, so All High. So at times they will exert some influence over the politics of Stockholm. Sorry, just finished my coffee. I have 2 cats on my desk right now. Wilma is walking across. Oh, she was just making her way out. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clans on the council. And we will add another label, and that will be the P for proles. Nosferatu P. Banu Hakim are the bourgeois. and then unaligned. Or yeah, there is no tiebreaker at the moment, but because of the distribution, like if you see bourgeois, 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 that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have Nosferatu, Bruja, and Gangrel. They're the only proles, and Malkavian is unaligned, meaning that if the Malkavian votes, along with the proles, there will be a revote. If that revote is the same, then the Prince Elector, just like Max is saying, will have the tiebreaker. And the Hakata and the Ministry are both kind of vying for a seat on this council. They really want to get in on that. The Hakata has been promised by 2030 by the Ventru. The Ministry has been given no such promise. The La Sombra are also vying. I think the La Sombra are actually closer to getting a seat on the council, but the La Sombra want to ally with the Bruja. The Tremere are currently allied with the Ventru, but are also inclined to help the Bruja because of the Banu Hakim being granted the Stockholm University. As you can see, it's quite a mess politically. And I think actually that the Ventru Prince Elector has taken advantage of this and often urges the Malkavian, or essentially wishes for the Malkavian to vote along the pro line so that they can exert whatever influence they want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Stockholm description here. There is the Gustav Sörensson is the ancient Bruja Helen, and then there is the Christina, the Ventru from the Renaissance, with her capitalist nationalist alliance. So I'm not going to go into this, but they very firmly connected the clans to political parties in Stockholm. I'm not a fan of that, so I'm going to tone that down. But we have Christina and we have Gustav Sörensson. So Gustav Sörensson is the Primogen of Bruja, and Christina something. There's only Christina here. Yeah, so Christina. Yeah, the Malkavians are getting blamed for it. The Malkavians are basically being patsies for the Ventru. And I think that could potentially be... Sorry if that was gross sound, by the way. I'll mute the mic if it's too loud. I was drinking a little bit. The Malkavians are also slightly worried about losing the royal castle and losing the privilege of being the keepers of Elysium, which usually isn't much of a big deal, but since it is in the royal castle, it's quite a big deal. So, I mean, if you have foreign delegates from the Camarilla visiting, of course they're going to be living in the royal castle, you know, so or at least visiting it. So it's a huge deal for the Malkavians that they have this territory, and so they are nervous that if they don't play along, the Ventru, who have grown bolder, much bolder, that the Ventru might just overrun the Malkavians. So the Ventru really want to get rid of the Bruja. They have a good reason to. The Bruja are no longer part of the Camarilla. They have left officially. But because the council is not actually bound by Camarilla, they are still ruling the city. It's a complex situation, which I think works really well because it's not as cut and dry in Europe as it is in America. Yeah, exactly. Allowing the clan to hold the castle is a big deal. It is a symbol of Sweden, after all. So, yeah. The Thinbloods and the Caitiffs. Thinbloods have been getting... See, there's a problem. There's a complicated situation here because the Bruja never really cared much for this group, the Thinbloods and the Caitiffs. They were kind of always, if they were not actively hunted, they were always ignored or really not given any slice of the pie. Now, however, they are seeing a growing movement of coordinated Thinbloods across the world, and they're like, oh, hey, maybe the Thinbloods actually have like a chance to get a position at the council. So the Bruja are kind of flirting with the Thinbloods which is not working too much in their favor because the Thin Bloods kind of know how they used to be treated. They're not very happy about that. So again, we have a lot, like it's a very precarious political situation. Lots of key players, lots of backstabbing in the working. Like again, the Hakata, not very happy that both that they're not allowed to expand their territory, but also not very happy that the Banu Hakim took a territory very close to them, which honestly would have been like a natural expansion of their territory, and they were given that under the eyes of the Ventru, who literally just say, yeah, go ahead and take it. So the Ventru are getting bolder, but because they are risking the loss of some of their loyal clans. So yeah, I think I'm reiterating the same points over and over. So I think we should go into the creation of our key players, so to speak. Now, Chicago by Night reintroduced something that was absolutely one of my top favorite features of old By Night books, and I will show this to you very soon. They reintroduced the coteries. This is something that was in a few of the books, not in all of them, but it was initially created for the Chicago by Night. And I think this is a brilliant way of highlighting political or like power structures. So what they do is that they show the relationship between different vampires in different situations. I think Anita Blake shows up in other ones as well, for example. As is Bobby, is he in the government? No, he's not, but he's a Ventru. Oh yeah, he's in the Lodin's Brood in the previous edition. So that's what we're gonna do today. The relationship web is, as Mesticina, sorry, I keep messing up your name. The relationship web is super interesting because it gives us a very quick way of establishing this connection. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go to something called Artbreeder. If you're not familiar with Artbreeder, it is a tool to create art from combining two or even more pictures. Hi Simon, how you doing? Artbreeder is fantastic because it creates unique things that I believe you're allowed to use yourself. Because this is unique. This piece of art has not been drawn by a person. It has been created by combining other things. Man, already I kind of want to... Let's crossbreed this guy with someone else. I kind of like this guy. Maybe not. Maybe not. Kind of looks like Nines. It kind of looks like a 45-year-old Nines Rodriguez. Who's just tired of this shit. Man, I kind of want to go with this look, to be honest. Like right away, I think we found the Bruja representative. Yeah, Lemon, I can so strongly recommend Artbreeder. It allows you to create art that looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, this is by far one of my absolute favorite websites. I think we can work with this. How about what if we do this? Yeah, this is gonna be the Bruja. 49. What? No. But yeah, I think this works, right? Let's make him a more dour face. Yeah, this works. This is the Bruja. We're gonna save this. Boop, and we're gonna go here. Up. There we go. So Sunday. Now you're gonna get some insight into all my different folders. But here we go. And what was his name again? Let's just call him Primogen Bruja for now. Prim Bruja. His name was Gustav Sörensson. Kind of doesn't look like a Gustav, but I don't care. Let's go with that one. I like him. Okay, that's Gustav Sörensson. Now we're gonna create Christina, the Ventru Primogen. So she's Renaissance era. I don't really want to use something that's arty, because it's kind of it clashes a little bit with the style I want to go for. So let's see if we can find an actual human's face. Wait, no, he was supposed to look young. Oh, I'm an absolute idiot. He was supposed to look really young. Hold on, I need to get another picture. Let's get this one and crossbreed him with. Sorry, I completely messed up. He was supposed to look really, really young. So let's see if we can find a young man to combine him with. Oh God, I like this picture a lot. My aesthetics. Like you can also upload your own. You can upload your own pictures here, basically, and it will read them. That is not a young man. Boy. How about this one? Oh, that's nice. Oh, but it shouldn't. That's nice. He looks. Well, he doesn't look young. How does this look? Okay. Yeah, this is very similar to his. This is good. This is good. Right? This is good, right? This is good. So here we go. This is Gustav Sørensen. Sorry, previous guy, but you are too old. He's supposed to look young. So let's go back to Art Breeder. We're doing portraits, of course. So let's find a young woman. Let's find a woman. Someone's been having fun. So, man, they all look. I want someone who looks slightly, normal. Black Company, Croker. I'm not familiar with Black Company. Could you tell us a bit more about it? This is Asian though, like kind of Asian looking. She's supposed to be a Swedish aristocrat. Swedish aristocrats. Blah. Okay, this is a little bit dry, but if we crossbreed her with this, oh God, no, it's too arty. Too arty. Oh, I like this. Her hair is moving around, but that's the only thing changing. Was she created from this yeah, she must have been created from this picture. Oh yeah, you can definitely make some really creepy stuff with this. You can make some truly horrendous stuff. Oh. Oh. Well, this works, right? This works. Oh, no. This is what we want. This is what we want. Ventru. Here we go. This is Christina. Perfect. Oh, God, look at this. This is a unique picture. This image has never existed before, and we just created it. That always blows my mind, these things. Nosferatu character generator, yeah. It's described as being a heartthrob when he was younger, but became a bitter old man. So if he were embraced as Brua, it would fit. Yeah, that really sounds like the kind of character we're going for. Perfect Christina. Oh, did I actually save her with a name, or did I go? Let me see here. Sunday. I did not. So Ventru. So Christina is currently the Prince Elector and the Ventru Primogen of Stockholm. Perfect. And this is the former Prince Elector and the Bruja Primogen. So let's make the other ones while we're here anyway. This is fun. I like Art Breeder. It's a fun tool to use. Also, like I said, it allows you to upload your own pictures. So let me see if I have any other ones. I have like 3 different accounts on this website. I think I'm going to start paying them soon, because I just think that this is such an incredible tool. It's very, very helpful for tabletop role-playing games. Stockholm by Night is full of neo-Nazis. I wouldn't know about that. This is not that game. I don't know any neo-Nazis. But will be if you don't have anything more constructive to add, then I would like you not to talk about stuff like that. Thank you. There are no... I'm going to... Oh, there we go. Their eyes should be commanding. Eventually should show power. I think this is her picture now. Hold on. What if we... Hold on. Profile... Where are my saved pictures? Browse. Account. Nope. Create. Where are my profile? Oh yeah, create from my saved ones. Where are my saved ones? Here's uploaded pictures. Oh yeah, I uploaded Wilford Brimley before. So, for another thing, don't ask. Didn't I save? How? Starred, created. There we go. What if I mix her with another one with more demand, with more? Yeah. I created a doctor basically for another game that I'm running. Can't really. I need to find better eyes. Better eyes. I'll give this another minute before we move on to the next one. What about this one? This works, right? I like this one. I like this one. Okay, so here is Christina. We are done with her. Oh God, her eyes are huge. Huge eyes. But yeah, well, she's got creepy eyes. Oh yeah, a leaf. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I like the painting. It looks creepy. Okay, so next up we're going to make. Next up we are going to make the Toreador Primogen. So instead of deciding, we're going to just make a picture, and out of that we're going to create a story. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. Oh, nice. We're going to select an image. So, Toreador. Let's pick this person. This looks more like a Tremere. I mean, yeah. This looks a little plain, if you ask me. I don't know. This wouldn't be a Toreador. Let's. Boom. Oh wow. Yes, I believe this is a good Toreador, right? Second Inquisition operatives? Yes, I will most assuredly have Second Inquisition in this campaign as well. I think this is a good Toreador, right? I mean, worst case scenario, I will change pictures later. We just need stand-ins for now so we can make our relationship web for these characters. So that's the Toreador. Let's go for Tremere now. How about we go... I love some of these so much. Elf is here. I love it. Got some animes here as well. Don't want to use anime though, because that's really going to influence. Jesus Christ, there are some horror. You know what? Let's go Nosferatu. Nosferatu, and we will crossbreed it with... here we go. Jesus, this is horrifying. Yeah, actually, it looks more like a Hakata, if you like a Samedi. Let's have another picture with this one. Kind of want to make the Nosferatu Primogen a woman, though. This is just there's no dead part showing up. It's just mouths moving slowly to the side. It's desperately trying to keep the face looking human. Yeah, there we go. Just needed to move the style a little bit. Yeah, this is another episode of Monster Factory. Yeah, no, it's not working. It's really not working. Let's Tremere, I believe. Let me see here. There's not a portrait. Why is that in portraits? Let's make a Tremere, and we'll combine her with some really like sinister looking. Actually, you know what? Got way too much milk toast in this. Let's see if we can find. This is good, right? This right away. Tremere. There we go. Perfect. I mean, okay, we're kind of drifting away from the from the realistic pictures now, but I will do my best to make them work better later on. I just don't want to spend too much time here because we got other stuff to do. So I'm just making good stand-ins for now. Oh, here we go. How about we crossbreed you with sorry. I shouldn't be playing around. I like this guy. So we are going to crossbreed him with there we go. And we have our Banu Hakim. There we go. Banu Hakim. Yes. Yeah, Skyrim also allows you from some pretty weird combinations. All right, what do we have so far? We have, let me see here. We have Bruja, Toreador, Tremere, Ventru, Banu Hakim. Why is he not? Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need Gangrel, Nosferatu, Malkavian, and that would be all 8 of the Primogen, so to speak. Yes. So Gangrel, we're going Gangrel now. How about we go with this one again? Kind of like I like the cut of this one's jib. So we're just gonna see if we can. Yeah, this is more ministry, isn't it? This is more ministry. There you go. Yeah, this will. I think this is a good. That's a good ministry, right there. No. The eyes are. Yeah, they're fine. The eyes are fine. This is just to kind of get the feel. Well, the ministry doesn't actually have a Primogen, but The thing is, good question, Fangs. The Gangrel are not actually with the Camarilla, but the council is not dependent upon the Camarilla. The reasoning here is that the council was kind of founded, not to dig too much into that, but not to dig too deep into it, but essentially, even though both the Bruja and Gangrel have left the Camarilla, they are still on the diplomatic council, or the democratic council. So I'm saying Primogen for Ministry, even though they don't actually have a seat at the council, just so we have a leader. That I kind of doesn't work. Let's I doesn't work at all, actually. This is better, I think. Eyes are still a little bit weird, but less so. So let's go with Ministry. Here we go. Yes, I do have quite a few hard drives. They're actually, some of them are partitions. I hope I didn't reveal anything embarrassing about myself there, but I do name them after certain terms and terms that I find interesting. Let's see here. Who's this fella? We'll combine him with her. I mean, I just threw photorealism out the window 2 pictures in. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make them look photorealistic. And I'm like, yeah, whatever works. What the fuck is this? Let's get this guy. Yeah, that's a cool Gangrel. Got a Gangrel right there. Prim Gangrel. I just want to count something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 5 guys. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need another Nicki Minaj. Yeah, there are quite a few different weird creations on this website. Malkavian. Let's try to find. Oh man. No, I'm not gonna make anything of that. Oh, the program. This is Artbreeder. This I'm gonna just artbreeder.com. It essentially creates procedural art combining pictures for you. So it's a pretty handy tool for any storyteller or game master who wants to quickly throw together a couple of mugshots of characters. So let's see here. I'm gonna combine this one with. Ooh, well, hold on here. Nice. Let's combine this one with. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a Malkavian look right there. Look at those eyes. Perfect. Malkavian. I have not done La Sombra yet, so La Sombra is next up. Let's take this guy. Oh my god. Oh my god, what is this? This is horrifying. This is good for La Sombra, right? Is a good stand-in. So I don't want to spend too much time here because we really got to start working on the relationship webs. But for now, this is good. So I'm calling all these Primogen, but they are not, because there are only 8 seats in the council right now. Although there's plenty of people vying for the power and seat. It could have also worked as a Giovanni, by the way. But let's go with Hakata. Let's take her. And kind of like this look, right? Yeah, I think this works. Hakata. Art Breeder is absolutely amazing. I love Art Breeder. No, I was naming it Art Breeder. Hakata. And who do we have left now? Let's look here. We have Banu Hakim, Bruja, Ministry, previously followers of Set, Gangrel, Hakata, Giovanni, Malkavian, Nosferatu. We have left Nosferatu, and then we have Toreador. We have a Toreador. We have a Tremere. We have Ventru, and I think that's really all. We need a we need a Nosferatu. So let's create a Nosferatu. Ooh, you give me an ID. Let's try to find this one. How do I search for an ID? Search. I like ugly Nosferatu. They should they should really show that they have a curse. Oh, I like. This is good. This is very good. But he could be better. Okay, no, that didn't get any better at all. I love how it always tries to make things look normal, like it's desperately trying to go, oh, this is a forehead, right? It's like, no, it really isn't. This guy's handsome. Very cursed. Let's see what we can. Oh my god, people really go out of their way to make twisted images. Is it still processing? I kind of like his huge, like, head of hair. Yeah, Colin, thank you a lot for the advice. I think this is a winner so far. Maybe? Can we go further? Oh god. Last attempt. Oh my god. Oh, I just got a brilliant idea for this Primogen. Perfect. This is perfect. Here we go. Oh god, look at this. Oh my god. This, my friends, is one of the founders of Folkhemet. So I don't want to go too deep into it, but the Folkhemet initiative was essentially this project to modernize Sweden and to raise living standards for all Swedes. And it was like a scientific pursuit as well as like a political pursuit. And while there was some really good things done during this time, like I couldn't live in the kind of, I would say, luxury that I live in if it wasn't for Folkhemet. I'm also a cis white guy. There were some really problematic stuff done at the time. Let's just say this. The center of racial biology wasn't closed until the 60s in Sweden. And there was a lot of research done into this stuff. There was forced sterilization, stuff like that. I don't want to go too deep into that right now. Like, obviously, it's not something we should be blind to. It's something that's extremely problematic about Sweden. But I'm thinking that this person has something to do with all that. Just saying. Just from the look of those eyes behind those bottle bottom glasses, it's like, oh man. And it looks just normal enough to be like, yeah, that's someone who's a little twisted. Yeah, I think it's there's very few countries out there, especially Western countries, that can't that can deny the kind of stuff they've done to other people. So this person definitely a scientist, a Nosferatu scientist. We'll leave it at that. All right, so now we have basically leaders of every clan right now. We'll start with that, and we'll essentially start out with the council. I'm not entirely sure what Google thing would be best for this, but let's go with presentation. Oh god, yeah, I can only imagine. Europe has some really dark history, and I don't think we should be blind to it, but I don't think we should. Like, I don't want to make light of it, so I don't really know how to handle it. But I ultimately, I guess it's something that should be discussed. I don't know. We'll see when I get into describing these characters how actually accurate I want to make it, because there are still people alive who suffered these things. So I also don't want to be disrespectful and present these as kind of gruesome creeps when they were actually real life people who did these things. So. But yeah, let's go back to this. Should I do this in PowerPoint, which is what this is essentially, or in spreadsheets? Let's go with PowerPoint. So we just remove all these things. Go away themes. We don't need you. And we're gonna insert some images. Upload from computer. Oh, these are. There we go. We're gonna go Sunday. Okay, so we're gonna upload the Banwakim, Bruja, Gangrel, Malkavian, Nosferatu, Toreador, Tremere, and Ventru. These are the council members. Oh Jesus, these are huge. So we're obviously also going to decrease their size. How do we do that? If I double click. Oh, it's zoomed in, hence why it's, well, that didn't change anything. Format options, size and rotation, let's make you 25%. Oh, it made everything 25%, that's great. So, okay, yes, this is the Primogen Council. We'll do those first, just essentially to kind of hint at what relationship they have. And then we will also do the... Why are you so small? Everyone else is 133, but you are not. So that we're gonna rectify that. There we go. So we're also gonna do the coalitions as well. Yeah, Prince Elector. I was thinking either a circle. That's kind of hard to make in this format. I'm just immediately realizing the disadvantage of using this. Prince Elector is here. Let's see. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 women, 4 men. That's a good distribution. Here's the Prince Elector. We're going to add. Can you add a comment? No, you cannot. You cannot add text underneath it. You can do that in Word, though. I'm pretty sure. Format options. I'm starting to think that maybe I shouldn't do this in Photoshop. I mean, actually, you know what? I have Photoshop. I actually legally have Photoshop, so I'm going to use that instead. Much easier to work with. Much easier. What we're going to do is we're going to make a... We're going to make a... let's make it 2000 times 2000. And we'll do this. Oop. And we're going to start adding the pictures in one by one. So let's start with the Prince Elector. And okay, might have to shrink that picture a little bit. Prince Elector. Image. Okay, well, actually what we'll do, this is quicker and easier. do it just like this. 4,000 times 4,000. Nope. And we'll do it like this. We'll drag everyone in and then just shrink it afterwards. It's easier than shrinking individual pictures. Tremere, Toreador. Oop. Also need to bring up the chat soon. I just can't do it right now. Nosferatu, Waelkyrige, Ministry. No wait, Ministry aren't in the Primogen Council. Sorry, Bruja. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're missing the Banu Hakim and the. Who are we missing more? Gangrel. We're missing the Gangrel. There we go. So here is the original 8 council members. And now we're just going to shrink this picture by 50%. There you go. Easy peasy. So we obviously want to have each of these surrounded by a little box. I'm just going to do this. Going to give it a whoop, black box, like 5 pixels wide. There you go. Did that actually work? Stroke. Is it? Oh, Gangrel. There you go. Of course. We're gonna copy layer style and just paste it on everyone. Paste layer style. Paste layer style. Paste layer style. Okay. Yes, music is great. This is the soundtrack of the Preludes game, so it has some pretty banging tunes. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make all of these invisible, of course, and we're gonna do some guides to make sure that we get everything in the proper place. I'm actually going to put the Ventru in the middle. There we go. And then we're going to put the Tremere. Let's do this. Actually, let's do this. 500 pixels in. Okay, couldn't do that, so let's zoom in a little bit. 500 pixels in. Guides are your friends. Appreciate them. They are great tools when they actually work, which they're not right now. Let's see if I can do it this way. Oh, well, I just learned something new. Holding shift actually makes it in increments of 10, making it way easier. 1500 here, and we're gonna do 500 here, and then we're gonna do 500 here. Sorry, this isn't much in terms of talking politics right now. I am setting this up, but if you're figuring out Photoshop, this is a great way to do it. So let's see here. Tremere, Primogen. Where are we gonna put you? We're gonna put you over here. Oop. And we are going to put Toreador, Primogen over here. And we're going to put the Nosferatu Primogen over here. The Bruja Primogen over here. And let's see here, Banu Hakim. This is not. I just realized I'm a bit of an idiot here, but we're going to do this. Actually, let's do this. We're going to do 750 and 750. Let's see here, 1,250. There we go. We're going to put you over here. You. Whoop. You're here. You are going to be here. And you are going to be here. And you are going to be here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Perfect. Okay, now we got kind of a circle going. Perfect. the way you are sure it works. Oh yeah, do you mean the way I constructed this? Yeah, I'm a little bit of a stickler for structure. Sometimes to my detriment. Now, because you can see these are very close to each other, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna go 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see here. We're going to do like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That's a little bit of a wider web. Oh my god, I missed the Malkavian. Again. This has got to be some kind of meme. Like, I consistently forget about the Malkavian. Every single time. I am so sorry. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do... wait, hold on. Let's put you in the same spot. And we're just gonna do this. Like that. It's the same spacing, right? And then we're just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I'm consistently repeating these to myself out loud. But I think. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's change places between the Malkavian and the Bruja, which actually makes so much sense. Holy shit! Because, oh wow, why did I not think of that? So what we're gonna do is guides on again, and we're going to put a guideline here, and we're going to put a guideline here. So you are going there whenever. You are going here. Let's see here. There we go. And you are going here. Perfect. Now we actually even kind of have the factions in the division. But yeah, thank you everyone for reminding me about the Malkavian. I was like, we got everyone going. I was like, no, we really don't. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, okay, is this accurate? Are they all on the same line? Yeah, accurate enough. Perfect. Now we have the Primogen Council. And we're going to start talking about their relationship. So, obviously, we need to make arrows. Now, I'm not an expert on making shapes, but I think... What the fuck is this? Oh, a tree. Okay. Let's see here. Welcome to the Primogen stream, where he is staring at Photoshop and trying to figure out what the heck he's doing. Maybe we can just save this picture. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's save this picture, and we can import it to Photoshop. Primogen Council, and we'll also save it as Primogen Council. Yeah, they are all extremely beautiful. There will be different pictures, but oh, I could just, yeah, you know what? For now, I'll just write out the relationship. It doesn't have to be fancy. I'll clean it up later. So what we're gonna do is we're going to write an up and a down. So there are different relationships. We got a layer here. I'm just gonna draw a line, and what we will do is a red going down. Oops, that should be at the bottom of everything. This is, by the way, the theme I use in the end of my videos. So we have a red line, and we have a blue line representing the different perspectives. So, blue line, red line. Hold on. Red line, blue line, blue line, whoop, red line. Whatever. Right now, I don't want to waste any more time. So, red line, blue line, red line, red line, blue line, blue line, red line, red line, blue line, blue line, red line. This is just to show who is feeling what, essentially towards each other. I wanted to convey, well, good job on whatever. I wanted to convey who's feeling what. So I'm just gonna like this, and then we're gonna connect them like this. So there will be a blue line, a red line here, blue line there, blue line here, red line here, and of course a red line and a blue line. So now everyone will not have a relationship with each other right now, and that's fine. These relationships will be in other spheres. Kind of looks like garbage right now, if you ask me, but that's fine. It's all good. It's all good. This is the problem when you make one of these, because you can't really draw a line between the Toreador and the Malkavian. So let's start out with the most obvious one. Again, I feel like I could have done this more easily. Let's make this an arrow like that, and oop, and a blue one like this. How he feels towards her. And we'll make a little text here. We'll make it a little text box here. Let's go 12, 20. And because I am a godless heathen, we will use Comic Sans for this. So, how does the Bruja Primogen feel about the Christina, the Venture Primogen? Hi Harry, how you doing? Let me see here. Arrogant. Too arrogant. Let me see here. Somehow, when I type in Photoshop, it actually gets it lags for me. Arrogant to the point. Come on. No. Let's fuck this. I'm gonna open up Photoshop and just, Word, and just do it like this instead. This is not working. Insert it, or we will. Oh God, I want to make this thing, but it's gonna take so much time. So let's just have this picture. Let's do it this way. Insert image, upload from computer. Rent-through. Relationships. Sorry, I'm being all wishy-washy, people. I don't want to waste your time. I just want to find a way that works well for everyone. So since I don't have any comics, I do have comic sets. Let's go with. There's Georgia. Relationships. Let's just go with the class for now. Arvid, I agree with you. I should have probably done this by hand, but unfortunately, I would not be able to stream it for you all if I did. So we'll make do. Her perception on the Bruja Primogen and well, what I'll do... No, I can't really change that. Bruja. Relationship with Bruja. Blind... Let's see here. Blind to his own stagnation. Had it all but lost it. This is how to kind of sum up, this is how these characters perceive the other one. Obviously their relationship is going to be much more complicated, but I want to establish a kind of a blind to his own failures. He who dares. Is that how it goes? He who dares win? Quiadet. This is the Latin term. Quiadet adipiscitur. Adipiscitur. Yeah, that sounds like something very Renaissance pretentious that she would say. Blind to his own failures and short-sightedness. Yeah, clan opinions. This is just to mark out how they feel about the character. Qui audet adipiscitur. Banu Hakim. Their desperation makes them useful. His desperation doesn't fool me. I know he wants more. Hello, Anthony. How you doing? We're all doing great. Yeah, vampires don't change much. Banakim Bruja. Next, we have the Hakata Gangrel. GH Gangrel. They would be a threat, or he would be a threat if he realized it. Maybe I can housebreak him. Hakata. Yeah, she's. I'm imagining this character is not extremely creative as a person. You know, like she was raised in she's raised on Renaissance. She's Renaissance nobility, so she can quote the classics. She knows the classics, but she's not a creative person. She's definitely not a Toreador in that regard. Hakata. Considering their position, why is she... No, I was just doing the council now, sorry. It's no Hakata. Yeah, she's a bit of a poseur in terms of Ventru. I don't know who would be next. Malkavian. Sometimes I forget that she's there. The castle is basically mine in all but name. I mean, that's suitable, right? Considering how often I forget the Malkavian. Sometimes I forget that she's there. The castle is basically mine in all but name. Is that how you would say it, in all but name? Would that work for this? And then we have Nosferatu. Nosferatu. Loyal to a fault. Which honestly is a turn on. No, she wouldn't say that. Loyal to a fault, which I can appreciate. Too bad she backed the wrong team. Too bad she Bet on the wrong horse. And then, who else do we have in this council? Nosferatu. We have Toreador. Me. No matter how much I give, he always wants more. I can see why. What was his name again? I keep forgetting the name of the Bruja Primogen. Let me see here. Bruja Primogen's name. Because I kind of want to use the official ones. His name, Gustav Sörensen. So I can see why Sörensen is reluctant. Never tried to get him back. Here we go. Oop. Go hit the live stream here. And then finally, Tremere. She holds her cards close to her hands, but I know she knows I know what's best for her clan. I just like this. I know that she knows that I know what's best for her clan. Oh, a heart? Is it heart? Close to her heart. Close to her chest, close to her vest. Can you go close to her heart? Vest. Let's go with vest. But I know she knows. I know what's best for her clan. Sörensen is the Bruja, who used to be the prince elect and the leader of that coalition. So the Toreador, she needs a bit more arrogance. Hello. Okay. I need a bit more arrogance. If he gives me what I want, I'll give him the moon. She needs a bit more arrogance. Blind to his own failures and short-sightedness, created Voltaire quotes. Good. Voltaire quotes. That is real, but I mean, yeah, Voltaire quotes. By appreciation, we make excellence in others our own property. Tyrants have always some slight shade of virtue. They support the laws before they destroy them. Man is free at the moment he wishes to be. Oh, yeah. Let's go with that one. Man is free. Man is free at the moment he wishes to be. But yeah, this is the Ventru Christina, who is the current Prince Regent. Oh, sorry, our cat is meowing in the background. Disgusting degenerate. There we go. These are preliminary. Everything I write here is preliminary. Like you saw in between episodes. I will polish things a little bit and kind of sum it up for later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have the Prince Elector's opinion about the other Primogen. Okay, next up we will insert. How about we put in Mr. Sörensen himself. So we'll just do this. Relationships. Doot. And just get rid of the Bruja. And put the Ventru in last. So this is the former Prince Elector. I don't know if I said Prince Regent, but that's not the term. It's a Prince Elector. Yeah, if he realized he would be a threat if he realized it, like if he realized he's actually a threat. Man is free at the moment he wishes to be. So basically, because the Gangrel has allied himself with the Bruja, he's not even realizing that he can break that promise at any time he wants. And because the Gangrel also have a deeper connection with the Valkyries, who are very powerful, the Gangrel could actually usurp or at least gain rather a lot of power in the city, but he is currently not politically savvy enough to have that influence. Now, the Banu Hakim, we welcome them with open arms, and what did that give us? Gangrel, trusted friend, strong ally, uninspiring colleague. Where is his fire, his passion? Malkavian, she lords her castle over us all, yet she seems to have forgotten who gave it to her in the first place. Nosferatu, truly a companion, compatriot in the struggle against the bourgeois. Truly a compatriot in the struggle against the bourgeois. If only... where's her spine? Whose spine? Whose spine? Arvid, I'm not sure I catch your reference. Oh, the Malkavians. She lords her castle over us all, yet she seems to have forgotten who gave it to her in the first place. Show some damn appreciation for once. This guy is obviously a little bit bitter over the current political situation. An asset to the struggle, an asset to the cause, yet blinded by her, yet preoccupied by her own theories. Now is the time to act. Damn the consequences. This guy is the former leader, and he's also one of the primary arguers for a coup against the Ventru. Preoccupied by by outdated ideals. And wishful thinking. Now is the time to act. Damn the consequences. This guy wants a bloody coup. And I think that the Nosferatu is not convinced that that would be the right thing to do. Toreador, like the parasites they are, they feast They strike us when we're down. They are no friends. He is no friend of mine, nor the people. Yeah, I imagine the Nosferatu Primogen is very obsessed with thinking of things in models and ideals and models. Like she imagines societal models and how things will turn out, instead of looking at going with the flow, so to speak, which is what Sørensen is doing. Tremere, they take their beating lying down, but what would you expect from the Ventru's lapdog? He's obviously not aware too much that the Tremere are considering joining them, and he has no love for the Tremere, who have been loyal to the Ventru for a long time. Let me see here. The Ventru. Give her a finger, and she takes your arm. Be careful your what is it? The reach out. Your grasp extends. Your reach exceeds your grasp. Reach exceeds grasp. I can't wait for her to realize that her reach exceeds her grasp. So her reach exceeds her grasp, meaning she can reach longer than she can grab things. I think that's the proper way to use that. Your grasp extends beyond your reach. Yeah, I guess I think exceeds beyond her grasp. Yeah, that's. Huh. Okay, corrected that. From Christina's lapdog. We welcomed them with open arms, and what did that give us? Let's see here. Yeah, basically, as far as I understood this meaning, it is that you are able to do things, yet you are not able to control the consequences of it. People often say that mankind's reach exceeds her grasp, or extends beyond her grasp, meaning that we are capable of performing feats that we are unable to control. Like we are toying with things way beyond our understanding and power, basically. Let's see here. Who are we doing next? I believe we should have the Banu Hakim, so far unnamed Primogen. And we are going to do this. Oh, I can't. This guy looks very sympathetic. Too bad he's not. I think he's going to be a bit of a prick, a bit of an asshole. Let's see here. Bruja. I have no ill will against Sørensen, but I have no ill will against Sørensen. He should learn the value of cooperation. Gangrel, they keep to themselves, yet we both need deal with the lupines. A worthy. This is correct. You can say this, but fine. Need to deal. Yet we both suffer the lupines. Hi Nyland, I created these headshots with artbreeder.com, which essentially allows you to create art out of combining other illustrations and pictures. Yet we both suffer the lupines. No, this is not about the clan itself. We both suffered the lupines. I wish we could cooperate more, but he avoids me, and I know not why. So, it's a lot of power, yeah. It's actually Artbreeder is super duper easy. It basically works itself. It's artbreeder.com if you want to check it out. And some of these took seconds to make. Waelkyrige, she has always been an excellent host, and we appreciate her support when we were invited to join the sect. She has our gratitude. Nosferatu. Dangerous ideas and delusional theorems. She would have us all drained if she thought it could save her precious Volkhemet. Ah, perfect. This is writing itself. So basically, the reasoning here is that the Nosferatu, again, driving home even further that the Nosferatu were crucial in the development of Volkhemet, and that the Nosferatu Primogen was a driving force behind it, and she's gotten a little bit obsessed over this idea, and at times she's a little bit dangerous. Let's see what others said about her. Loyal to a fault. Too bad it's to an ideal and not it's to an ideal. More in love with the idea than the execution. Loyal. More in love with the idea than the execution. Harmless. Harmless and deluded. Let Sørensen have her. Perfect. And he says, an asset to the cause, yet preoccupied by outdated ideals and models. Now is the time to act. Damn the consequences. Perfect. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go. Sorry. And for the Toreador, they quickly grew bored of our he quickly grew bored of our art. No, he quickly grew bored of our hot to kill. No, he grew bored with our style, and now we're only relevant when he wants to know. Now we're only relevant when he wants something. So just like everyone else, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of lame. I might rewrite that one at another point. Tremere. Their jealousy is only exceeded by their fear of our retribution. For now, I will for now, I will satisfy myself with giving her, with looking her away at Elysium. It's amusing how she squirms. I will satisfy myself while looking at her? No. That is an entirely different meaning. So let's not go with that one. Also, sorry I've completely delved into this, but if you have any questions or thoughts, just keep throwing them at me. I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit in the zone while writing this. I'm trying to channel their personalities. Ventru, I owe her everything, yet somehow I think she wants even more. At what point do we stop paying back a favor and she starts owing us? Again, this is more conveying the idea rather than being an exact quote, because again, I want to kind of hit these out before we have to stop the stream, which is fairly soon. We've already been at this for 2 hours. Jesus, where did the time go? We'll finish the Primogen Council, which is less than I thought we'd do, but enough that it's I'm happy with it. So next we're gonna have the Gangrel. He really does look like a kind of old-fashioned Viking, doesn't he? Relationships. So relationships, Bruja. No. Banu Hakim. And let's see here. Banu Hakim. They were fine. He accepted a death sentence and turned it into an opportunity. I could learn from that, because the Banu Hakim were given the territory. Who? This guy? Yeah, he does. He kind of looks. Who does he look like? But yeah, they all look fucking amazing. This guy I'm especially happy with, because I know someone who. This could be that guy. Like, these are all very good mugshots, even though they're kind of different in style. He accepted a death sentence and turned it into an opportunity. I could learn from that. So the Banu Hakim were given the territory of Stockholm University and the Royal Institute of Technology, which has a pretty big forest area around it and has a little bit of a. Oh, this guy looks like Daniel Radcliffe? Really? I don't see it. Josh? Are we talking about? Who are you talking about when you say that? Jared Leto? Yeah, we're getting a lot of different. Yeah, Jared Leto, I can totally see actually. Yeah, I can see that. So Bruja, he stood by us. He's been a friend since I first came to Stockholm. Nothing will change that. Yeah, he's not really seeing Sudden for who he is. Oh my god, that would be amazing, Lemon, to just use just the same base. And they're all the Malkavian. The Malkavian is the entire council, or they could be different ones. Malkavian. She last time we spoke, she complained about me dragging dirt over some rug. So we're not really on speaking terms. Nosferatu. She likes to talk around people, not to people. I don't like that. But I guess she knows her stuff. Oh, yeah, not 2 people. There we go. Sorry, my bad. Toreador. Honestly, he's a pretty fun guy. Once you get over the smell. Yeah, so I decided the Toreador is notoriously overusing cologne. So that's a character trait. This is depth. This is character development. Let's see here. Tremere. They think their domain is too small. I think they don't deserve. I think they should shut up. This was probably the worst line I've written so far. Tremere. She speaks big. She talks big. I'd like to see how she fares. Yeah, let's see how she'd fare if we dropped her off on Djurgården. This is the huge forest, by the way, in the middle of the night. And true. Honestly, it's refreshing to see to have someone else call the shots, but it's been 14 years now, and she's outstayed her welcome. Boop. I just realized this guy doesn't get along with any of the female Primogen members, but let's see here. He likes the Toreador, he likes the Bruja, and he likes the Banu Hakim. So that was not intentional, but maybe I'll catch that in revision, or maybe that's just how it goes. Yeah, the main Premier Chantry should definitely be in Uppsala. Yeah, he's a confirmed bachelor. Agreed. Let's see here. Yeah, Uppsala. I'm kind of pending. I'm kind of bouncing between it. Uppsala either being like a Tremere capital city or Sabbat, or potentially both. Let's see here. Malkavian. This time I didn't forget her. God, her mugshot really horrifies me. Like very intense. Kind of androgynous too. I like that. So, getting rid of Malkavian, and we're putting in Gangrel. There we go. Banu Hakim. He made my life more interesting. So I guess I owe him that. Finally, some new blood. I was getting bored of this kangaroo court. What's a kangaroo court? That's like a... oh yeah, it's very uncanny valley. Very symmetrical face, by the way. Oh my, this is unnerving. Like, just one ring in her ear, and that's... Yeah, her nose is a little bit different. It's kind of creepy. Bruja. Lord Sørensen is pissy. He lost the throne. Maybe next time he'll step down from it. Maybe he's pissy he lost the throne. Can't blame him. No. Boo-hoo. I think that's, she doesn't really care much for him, I think. Gangrel. I wish we had something to talk about. He keeps pushing my buttons. I wish we could get along, but he keeps pushing my buttons. Could use a new fur. Could use a new fur coat. No, she's not. I'm not gonna make her like psychotic murderer yet. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, God, just very unnerving person. We've spent many nights talking until daybreak. Yet she never really listens, does she? Still, I bet I could warm up that crinkled old heart of hers. Toreador. He's always bragging about all his parties and all his fancy friends and all his money and la-dee-da. I don't see him being keeper of Elysium, though. Do I? Jackass. She's special. Tremere. Eyes emoji, sweat emoji, eggplant emoji. No, eyes emoji, sweat emoji, peach emoji, okay emoji. Ventru. Please see me. Why won't you look at me? Oh, God. Guys, I just realized I forgot. No. Oh, God. Okay, I didn't. I thought I'd forgotten Malkavian in the Ventru. Sometimes I forget that she's there. Cass is basically my all-but name. I'm glad you like her. I like her too. She's special. I like her. I tried to not play too much into clan stereotypes. I feel like I do at some level, but I want them to have actual, good relationships or realistic. God, oh, I'd forgotten about her. Oh, it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. Just like the way her eyes are like, oh, because it's not inhuman, you know what I'm saying? It's just, oh, okay. Sorry. Let's see, Nosferatu. We're gonna get rid of that one and go Malkavian. Hakim. The system wasn't built for them in the equation. It's the root of our problem. I think I'm definitely gonna make her be more of a, not a super nice Yeah, this is still her hair, I think. I kind of want to make her sort of not a super nice person, because it kind of also reflects the history of Folkhemet a little bit, and I don't want to shy away from that, but I don't want to make it too big of a thing either. Bruja, good leader. Useless manager. He probably wouldn't even know the difference. Gangrel. Keep our borders safe. Good puppy. Yeah, nice skull shape. This is a person who would probably believe in phrenology too, by the way. Malkavians. Does she actually do anything, or is she here for decoration? Not very minimalist, if you ask me. Welcome back, Max. How you doing? Toreador. We need bread and theater for the masses, but please cut the coke. All right. We don't. It's adding uncertainty to my calculation, to my models. Let me see here. Tremere. I wish she would apply herself. Please cut the coke. Or at least cut out the coke. Would you say coke? Please cut out the cocaine. It really isn't doing the model any. Oh, hold on, let me just. Okay, good. I just need to check that I indented all things. Sorry. Whenever I get stuck with something, I go into full. Editing. Like, I gotta make everything look nice. Like, that's my way of my way of using my brain to be like, gotta focus. All right, what do? I fix some things that I know how to fix. It really isn't. It really isn't what the people need. I guess whatever. She's not very witty. She's not very witty. Sorry. The people need. It's not what it really isn't what the people need. Tremere, I wish she would apply herself. I think I think that's enough. Ventru. Honestly, if she had paid attention to my theories, things would have been very different. Right now, she's driving us off a cliff and blaming Sørensen for it. Pathetic. Okay, who else do we have? We have the Toreador. So let's go with him. Insert. What did you have to show me, Artbreed? I just realized I spent the last half hour making characters. I'm sorry. Are you saying you don't like Artbreeder? It is a very useful tool. And again, all of these mugshots will potentially change during time. But for now, they're very good representations of the characters that we're using. Hey, we're doing pretty good. We've still got 15 minutes until I need to finish the stream, so I think we should be able to chug out the last couple of Primogens. So let's see. We're getting rid of the Toreador, and we're putting in the Nosferatu again. He's like an ex that I used to adore, yet now I can't even figure out what I liked about him in the first place. It's let's party. But just keep to the... God damn it. This is hard. I have to get into his mindset. You fucking know what you did. Brutalism ain't art. Take your Soviet bullshit and shove it up your fucking ass. Alright, sorry for the cursing, but I feel like this guy really has not forgiven the 50s reconstructing of Normand Gangrel. Can you be more blasé? Is that... Let's say... oh no, that's not the right word. Salt dry stiffest. Yeah, stiff. It's true. Gangrel. So like, are you going for that? So like, are you going for that? What is it? Survivalist? What is that? The people who primitivist look. So like, are you going for the primitivist look, or did you forget to shower again? Primitivist. That is the word. Naturalist. Is it like the people who actually abandon society and go out and live in the forest? Let's see here. I think it's primitivist is the movement now. Primitivism is a mode of aesthetic idealization that either emulates or aspires to recreate primitive experiences. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So like, are you going for the primitivist look, or did you forget to shower again? A primitivist is even like, it's glorifying pre-societal mankind in kind of like a weird way. He's surly because this guy is he's been kicked around. Like, nobody likes the Toreador. Let's go through all the other clans and you'll get a good idea of why he hates everyone. Me. No matter how much I give, he always wants more. I can see why Sorensen never tried to get him back. Disgusting degenerate. Like the parasites they are, they strike us when we're down. They kick us. He is no friend of mine, nor the people. He quickly grew bored with our style, and now we're only relevant when he wants something. So just like everyone else, I guess. Honestly, he's a pretty fun guy once you get over the smell. So I'm actually gonna say the Gangrel and the Toreador sort of get along in a weird way, like opposites attract. He's always bragging about all his parties and all his fancy friends and all his money and la-di-da. I don't see him being Keeper of Elysium though, do I? Jackass. The bread and theater for the masses, but please cut out the cocaine. It really isn't what the people need. So yeah, you can imagine he's not super popular with the others. She is like a modern. Ever seen a photo of. Ever seen Tove Jansson? Yeah. No, that's really cruel to Tove Jansson. She's one of my favorite artists, writers. You can't spell desperate. No. Did you know the castle was yellow once? I do, because she's fucking told me that a million times. God. Would you just shut up already? This guy is, wow. I don't know, maybe I'll change him later, but I'm kind of digging this guy's style. Nosferatu. Red walls and white corners. Really? Röda väggar, vita knutar. Okay, so this is a deep cut. So this is the traditional way of how Swedish houses were painted. So basically, if you go countryside in Sweden, you will see a large amount of buildings done in this way. And this has even become the model of the Swedish folkhemmet. It actually is, from what I've learned, it is because the copper mines created a lot of copper sulfites. No, copper dust, and they used that to make paint, cheap paint. So a lot of people would buy this paint to paint their houses and leave the corners white to kind of leave some kind of weird difference anyway. But you will see these in the Dala horse as well. It has a similar color pattern, done with the same paint. So Dalarna, which is where this is from, it's actually the Dala copper mines is a huge was a huge source of revenue for Sweden for a long time. You also have the falu korv, which is like sausage made primarily from animals who would work in these mines, who would pull things. So I don't think there's any lead in that paint. No, actually. So this guy is like red walls and white corners. Really? He's like, he's a little bit like, why? Yeah. He's like, please, can we move on? Tremere. I have to admit, no, kind of hot in that nerdy girl turned bombshell way, kind of way, except she's talking to her is like eating drywall. At least she has a good taste in music. Oh god. I feel like this guy is the biggest asshole I've ever created. I oh man, I is like chewing on drywall. He's man. Oh man, like a little bit of insight into Stockholm culture scene. Like the old school cultural elite, usually a lot of them are left wing. It's so so inbred. Like they hate each other. It's like a it's called the Ankdam, which is like this small splashing pool for ducks. So imagine just like everyone hates everyone, and it's just continuous backstabbing and salt. So I'm imagining this guy is just like, I don't like anyone. Ventru, you're going to cut funding for public service again, aren't you? Yeah. All right. Let me talk to my people. Yeah, he's also a little bit of a whip. Like he doesn't have the guts to stand up to anyone. I think also he is not a bold guy. Like he does not stand up against people. Yeah, he's unapologetic. I kind of just like people that have no shame in being terrible. Yeah, it's interesting. There is this clash over culture in Stockholm, which I don't think is unique at all. That a lot of times when the blues, so to speak, are in charge of Sweden or Stockholm, a lot of money goes to finer art like theater and opera, things like that. And when the socialists, if you want to call it that, are in power, then they will put a little bit more money into grassroots stuff, and not as much as they used to, mind you. And the left party will always happily remind the Social Democrats that they're turning into the establishment. So it's the cultural scene in Sweden is complicated, and we'll just say that. Now we're going to do Tremere, and after that we are actually done. So we have about 4 minutes left. Should be easy. How are you all doing? Are you hanging on? Like I feel like we could have gotten to this part earlier, but I think it's really crucial to establish the relationship between these people, because everyone kind of hates everyone here, with some exception. And I think that's really how it should be, because it promotes interesting political situations where there's no status quo. Any of these clans can turn on another one, and I kind of want to have that kind of sandbox feel to this group. Like they're only together right now because it is the most lucrative for the most parties. But as soon as the tables is turned, which could easily happen with player characters coming into the mix, we can see some huge changes in society, in vampire society. So we got rid of Tremere, so we're going to put in Toreador here. This is the last Primogen we're putting in. Obviously not the last clan leader, but these are the only ones in the council. So Tremere, oh god, it's fine. I'm glad for him. I'm sure he deserves it. So yeah, exactly, Lemon. Like, yeah, there are grudges. Even if we're doing a street level campaign where you're barely going to meet these people, their constant jihad, I'm using quotation marks here because it's not really jihad, it's jihad, will influence players for sure. Because I want there to be a macro struggle that kind of defines the political landscape. Players might never interact with this in any meaningful way, doesn't mean there shouldn't be this kind of political landscape. Bruja. You know what? You never really appreciate how good you had it before you lose it. I think that's really it's a good summary, because again, the Tremere are not happy with Ventru, and they might at some point just decide that we've had enough of this, we're going to side with the Bruja. But like I said earlier, for them to do that, they will need concrete proof that them siding with the Bruja will tip the scales, so to speak. They will not put their neck out if there is not a 100% guarantee that will give them power again. Oh, the music is the playlist for the, is the the soundtrack for World of Darkness Preludes, Vampire the Masquerade, All Our Friends Are Dead and We Eat Blood, or if it was the other way around. It's a pretty shitty choose your own adventure game, I'll be honest, not a huge fan of it. Written by Zach Sabbath, so that really is the shit icing on the cake. But it has amazing music and aesthetics are really nice, so there's stuff you can salvage from it. Okay, Gangrel. Relationship with Gangrel. Let's look at what the Gangrel say about the Tremere. She talks big, but I'd like to see how she'd fare if we dropped her off on Djurgården in the middle of the night. Yeah, obviously not a huge fan. Gangrel, we could really put them to good use. I have a ritual I haven't had the chance to use in a cup in a few 100 years. And we could really use a new guard dog. We could put them to good use. Put him. I guess it's kind of melting into clan and person. In a few 100 years, and we could really use a new guard dog. Malkavian. If she only knew what she's standing on. I guess that's... I guess I can kind of see. Sandbox. Where were we? Malkavian. Tremere. She's been treating me. She's been more than polite lately, though. So perhaps she'll let me explore those tunnels. Ooh. Nyla, that is, yeah. I'm really sorry. It's going to be behind a paywall, so to speak. Hopefully, at one point or another, I will be able to release this as an actual campaign book. I pray and hope for that. But it's a complicated situation. But because I really have to be able to pay our bills. We're in a situation. I'm not going to talk too much about my personal life, but we are in a situation where I couldn't just drop a day or two of work and still make things work because for a lot of reasons. So I need to be able to make sure that I could actually pay all our bills and stuff like that. So otherwise, I would love to run this with more people. I don't know. At some point, I might be able to lower so even like $10 patrons would be able to play on this. We'll see. Like again, we're pretty far from where we can play this, but man, yeah, I am very much in love already with all these characters. I feel like they have so much life to them, just from these quotes. Nosferatu. She has some interesting ideas, but a lot of time she has some interesting ideas, but she's so stuck in her ways. She would have made a dreadfully dull Tremere. Toreador. I find his outbursts amusing. Foolish. Potentially suicidal. But amusing. Ventru. She has vision. I'll grant her that. But she lacks foresight. She has vision, I'll grant her that, but she lacks naysayers. I fear we have contributed to that problem. Yeah, I think that's all of the Primogen. Holy shit, that's 8 characters that we almost fleshed out like before our eyes. So let us zoom out a little bit. Got Ventru. Do you guys want me to go through all these again, or should we call it a night? It is a little bit late. Okay, I'm gonna go through them. So we have the a rating on favorites. Okay, perfect. I can do this. So I love them all. They're all my little assholes. So from 1 to 10, or from 1 to 8, here is my rating on who I love, which one of my children I love the most and the least. So yeah, I need to sleep soon. I have work in the morning. So the one I like the least from these, let's start with that. I feel like Gangrel. I need to work more on him right now. He's probably the character I have the least grasp on, to be honest. Second least favorite. I mean, I feel like, again, this is more like how well do I feel like they're developed rather than how much I like them. I'm gonna say Ventru here because she really needs some work more. I'm gonna say Banu Hakim here because he also needs more work. I don't know nothing about these people. Bruja, he's still a little flat. Now we're getting into the people that I actually like. So Nosferatu, I don't like her for her ideas. I like her for her design and character. After that, we're going to go with Waelkyrige. She's nice. Then we're going to go Tremere and Toreador. Yes, thank you very much. I agree. I feel like halfway through I started really getting the characters. But yes, Toreador is my favorite. I love him. he's horrible, and I feel like my disdain for the cultural elite is very visible in here. I don't hate people who practice culture, but I have a few colleagues who are, I think I based this guy on one of my colleagues, to be honest. Like, not overtly, but he's such a salt bag, and he's a musician as well as a teacher. And I honestly, I relate to everything he says, but he's such a bag of salt. He's so disillusioned with our society, disillusioned by our society. Tremere, I feel like she, actually no, she's number 4. Malkavian is, I like Malkavian more because she, I feel like I did something good with her there. Tremere is, no, Tremere is number 3. Nosferatu is still number 4. Malkavian, I like her. She's also got the hots for I got the hots for the Tremere. And the Nosferatu. So yeah, she's thirsty. And oh god, it's like she's staring into my soul. So that is the Primogen Council of Stockholm. I haven't decided how old all these are. That's for later. We're going to flesh them out furthermore. I feel like when you make your chronicle, stats not necessarily important when you make your character. The most important thing is to know the role they fill in their society and their relationship with everyone else. And I think that Vampire really pushed for that with the relationship webs. I was trying to make that initially, but I couldn't really do it. God, I have a shit ton of tabs open right now. So, I think we've done a good job. I will clean some of this stuff up. I might revise some of the quotes, but I think we really have an interesting dynamic in this city right now. And I think our movers and shakers are really coming together. I think I would love some suggestions for what our next video is going to be about. I can't give you a date right now because, again, promising too much might not be the best thing to do. I would primarily like to do this Sunday in 2 weeks, but if that's not possible, it will be soon after that. If you have any ideas for what our next video is going to be about, please let me know in the comments. I would love to get your feedback as well on these characters. If there's something I've done that's maybe a little problematic or might need revision, do let me know. I tried to balance this as much as I could. And if there's something you want to see more of, let me know. And yeah, don't forget that on this Saturday, I will be streaming Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, doing a charity drive for Doctors Without Borders, their COVID crisis fund, which hopefully will help countries that don't have the infrastructure or lack the proper means of protecting themselves and their people, their population, from the consequences of having an international pandemic as we're doing right now. And I will hopefully have some guests on that stream. It will be the first time I'm finishing. I won't finish it in 15 hours, but it will be the first time I'm getting out of Santa Monica in the last 15 years, 10 to 15 years. I can promise you that. And if it's good, I will try to do a second stream as well, so we can finish the game and hopefully do it as a charity drive as well. So thank you all again for watching. I hope you had a good time. And if you're watching this afterwards, I hope I provided some entertainment. I'm sorry for faffing about in Photoshop so much. That turned out to be a huge waste of time, but such is the way of creative processes. So I'm just going to save this as the Primogen thing, and I think we're going to end the stream here. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to watch. I love you all. Now be careful out there, because Gehenna is... Oh my god, I cannot believe I forgot the line. Gehenna will soon be upon us. I've done 50 episodes almost and I forgot that. Anyway, it's late. I'm tired. Love you all. This was a great blast. It was a blast. Take care. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Hug your loved ones. And don't forget to give yourself some breathing space. You're dealing with a lot of shit right now. It's okay not to be productive every hour of the day. Rest. Take care. Look after yourselves. That's important. Bye-bye.